Welcome everyone. Good evening. This is MJ Puri, Director General with Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industries, welcoming you all in one more edition of webinars of AACCI. Today with us we have Mr. Aman Lamba and Mr. Vijay Jagannathan. They are our guest speakers today, and I welcome both of them on behalf of AACCI. Before we start, let me give you a short brief. Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industries is a transnational chamber of commerce supporting the MSMEs overall for the Asian and the African continent at large. Let me have a quick introduction for our speakers today. Let me start with Mr. Aman Lamba. Aman is a two-time TEDx speaker and associated with IIT Mumbai and IIT Madras. He is an official startup mentor, investor, and a guest faculty. He serves as a global director at LMSME's Transformations Coach with experience across 30 plus countries. He has also worked closely with governments worldwide on AI and digital transformations initiatives. He is currently pursuing his doctorate in people and business transformation. Amazing, Aman. We welcome you warmly on the show today. Thank you. Our second guest today is Mr. Vijay Jagannathan. Vijay has worked across multiple countries, industries, roles including technology, healthcare, consulting, and startups. He is a Toastmasters keynote speaker, traveler, coach, and a mentor. Currently, he is an advisor and growth architect and works closely with healthcare startups. I'm really honored to have both of you here. Once again, I welcome both of you, please. Well, this is something which I picked up from the Google, but I would like to hear from you exactly, Aman, which is not documented on the social media or not there on the social media footprints. I would like to hear something from you, Aman. Please, over to you.
So first of all, thank you so much, Puri sir, for whatever Googling you did. So this is an honor to be here, and thanks for the opportunity. Apart from that, we are really passionate to solve the problems and identify the pain areas of individuals and startups and MSMEs. So our passion is to how we can help organizations to grow in this uncertain era. So that's pretty much about us, because we can keep talking about ourselves, but let's talk about, how we can bring change and how we can provide value to others. Thank you.
Well, definitely. Thank you so much for your insights. But same goes for you, Vijay, as well, because I can't leave you alone. So over to you.
I think, first of all, thank you so much for this invitation and getting us on this platform to talk to a lot of people, specifically about startups. A bit about me, possibly that you don't know, is I've been a martial artist for about 20 years of my earlier life. So I have a black belt in karate. That's something that's not in my resume. The thing which is also not there is every few years, my career trajectory has changed. So it's not been a very linear journey as such. So every 2, 3 years, I get bored with doing the same thing. I try something out new. So that's kind of given me a very interesting view about how startups work, how companies work. I've been in operations. I've kind of been at the side where I receive advice and try to implement it when there's a fire. And I've also been on the other side where I've kind of helped a lot of startups scale from maybe just starting off to even going from a traction phase to a next phase. So that's a bit about me. And I really look forward to kind of discussing a little bit in terms of hurdles and sustainable growth for startups today.
Well, guys, I've studied hard this time, so it's going to be a rock and roll merry-go-round question answers going on. Ready for it?
Oh, wow.
One question to you. Many founders say what worked earlier no longer works now. From your experience, what has fundamentally changed, and why do we need to rewrite the rules of success?
Yeah, very, very insightful question, Puriji. I would like to take a pause and I want to set the context, right? So what's happening, right? As it is not just about, I think, the research, what you have done. It is the question coming from every individual who is in corporate, every startup owner or every employee. This is becoming like, where are we heading? And I call it a VUCA world. VUCA, that is volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. All four, complex words I am bringing in. That I call it VUCA. This is the term which we derived from during the 1990s or 1980s. US Army, US Defense used to use this term, and this is quite applicable here now. So what is VUCA? That I call it that 90 plus percentage is beyond our control, right? What are those 90% of things? War-like situations, as you know that whatever happened in Venezuela recently, and now whatever is happening on the world, right? So that is becoming very difficult to predict where we need to focus and what business opportunities we need to have. And even if we have plan B, plan C ready, what's going to happen next? The second thing is the geopolitical issues, right? So one country versus others, right? How we can make the business happen. And the third thing, which really everybody is worried about, is the rise of AI. There are a lot of predictions that lot of businesses and individuals will obsolete if we do not take action appropriately. So these three things, I call it which are becoming like very different in nature, which we did not have earlier. At least war-like situation and geopolitical issues are there forever, but the rise of AI is something icing on the cake, right? So this is something we have to figure out now, how we need to navigate our future. So I always call that, whatever is there in our hands, I call it 10%. So if we focus and give our 200% to the 10% of things which are in our control, we can do wonders. Thank you.
Amazing. This question goes to you, Ujay. Many startups dream of going global too early. How does a founder know whether it's too early, too late, or it's the right time?
To deliberate that, first of all, I've kind of worked in multiple countries and I've seen how people make decisions in different countries. One thing, without being too irrelevant, in India, there's yes, no, and there's a maybe. So you wouldn't ask somebody a question saying, hey, can we get this done? A person from outside India, a Western guy will come and ask this. For them, the answer is yes or no. What we tend to say is maybe, and guys get very confused. And that's where we kind of bring in our old, let's call it the strength of jugaad, if you call it that. We kind of work around ways to make things happen. Now, when you talk about global expansion, for me, it's not just a milestone. It's more of a stress test on your startup. It can go wrong two ways. Number one, it's still chaos and you're too early. Well, it's not going to succeed. Your competition is already pulling out that you're waiting for that perfect moment. Well, you're too late already. Perhaps my take on this is the right time to go global is when the startup's story is repeatable, customers trust you, and there's a process in place. And very importantly, you don't need the founder to be there making decisions everywhere. So he's not there in the room, still everything's working clockwork. Probably that's one of the best times to go forward. And very importantly, if you have one large overseas engagement or customer, if it gets to a situation where it's breaking the team, well, you're a little too early. So have all the bases covered before you go there. So which means get your process right and make sure that things run without you.
I'll keep this in mind. This question to you again, I mean, like coming back to the same point. AI is taking this, AI is taking that. With AI disrupting roles across industries, many professionals fear about being replaced. What is the most practical way founders and individuals can stay relevant in the AI era?
Sure. So, Puriji, it's a very lengthy topic, right? I can talk for days on this subject because to set the stage, but I'll try to do it as short as I can. But the message is very important. If you all give attention here, I guarantee you that you will have something new what you are going to take away from this session. And if you understand this, you will understand the entire game of AI. Individual or organization, we have actually grown basis on our IQ and EQ, right? Whatever we have learned, whatever we have done so far in our life, right? So we believe that whoever has high IQ, they are welcome in any country, right? So now let me ask you one question. Let's take one of the one of the talented or brainiest, minds in the world. Let's take Einstein example. I'll just tell you the IQ. Anybody knows? Do you have chat button here? No, right? So okay, no worries. So Einstein's IQ was around 160. But when ChatGPT 3.5 was launched in November 2022, the IQ of ChatGPT at that time was 155. And it has already surpassed the IQ time. It has gone more than 180, I would say. What is going to happen is just imagine AI as of 2015 Android system, right? It was buggy, it was camera quality was not good, it used to restart, and the experience was not great. But just see now how amazing it is evolved over the period of last 10 years. And this is one of the most powerful operating system available. And if you see Samsung S26 Ultra, which is coming from in January, it has all the features which you can imagine in one mobile phone, thanks to Android. And there is a prediction that in next 10 years, AI is going to cross 1800 IQ. And you can't
Oh my.
imagine and you cannot even compete with artificial intelligence in next even next 6 months or so, because every month they are iterating, they're
Upgrading.
coming up with new models. Gemini
Right.
3 is really amazing, right? So the point what I'm trying to make is you cannot compete with AI, but I call AI as, and this term you should note down, that is BAH. I call it best available human access, either Einstein or Puri ji's access given to you, right? In your fingertips. But the now
Right.
question is, even after getting the Einstein access or best available human access with you, what's left with you? Because everybody has got that BAH access, right? The term which we have coined, right? One of my friends, he wrote a book on that, and it's a copyrighted term that is called IMQ, your
Yeah.
imaginative quotient. And the other thing is SQ, that is spiritual quotient. Let me quickly talk about both. IMQ is something when you actually take a pause rather than getting always into shorts, reels, and keep typing on laptop and trying to do the task based work like write me this email, do this, do that. It's becoming like we are getting addicted to all these technologies. Instead,
Correct.
what IMQ suggests is you take a pause, close your eyes, and imagine as much as you can. What
Mhm.
happens when you imagine? You activate your left and right brain both, and there is something magical which gets activated on your brain that is called DFN, that is default node network. When the default mode network gets activated, that is where you get all the wild crazy ideas. And when you ask AI again, after imagining, you get very different results. So that's why we always call people to sharpen your IMQ skills, that never ever AI will replace from you. Second thing is, if you seek for all the answers from outside world, which is biased, which is hallucinated, and which is again, every country is running their agenda on AI, it is time to go within. And that's why I call SQ, spiritual question, becomes super important, relevant. We need to go back to our basics, go back to our ancient things. I know, Puriji, you recently visited temples, right? So you can talk more about that. That spiritual quotient and attachment to the higher self is becoming more important now in the AI era. Thank you.
Well, common sense is not common. AI may have a very high IQ, but it ultimately needs a human to utilize it. AI is a source. It is in human hands how to use it, right?
Just want to add here, Puriji, the irony here is, and which is very sad, the IQ of AI is increasing, but humans are IQs are decreasing day by day because we are getting totally dependent on AI. Even if we ask, what shall I eat for breakfast, right? Shall I go to office or not? How is the traffic? What all everything we are dumping it to AI. Our IQ
Right.
is gradually going down. This guy is becoming more powerful. So only thing what's left with us is imagination, common sense, and spiritual quotient.
Yeah, I want to add something here. So
Yes.
when it comes to the thing between your 2 ears, that's the brain. If you don't use it enough, it's like a muscle. So the more you work it out, the stronger it becomes. The minute you stop working out that muscle, it kind of starts declining. Unfortunately, that's what we do. Even to write a simple email, even to write a birthday wish, people say, "Hey, give me a birthday wish." You
Correct.
have somebody who's the level of Einstein, the best available human with you. And what are we asking him to do?
It's just like asking Ambani when you are going to collect charity, you are asking 50 rupees to Ambani.
This question is for you. What are the most important things early stage founders need to keep in check?
That makes me think about the early mistakes that I've made in my life. One of the startups that I worked with way back, I was a part of that. I invested in that. And when we started off, we had a good vision saying that, hey, this is what we wanted to target. We wanted to target service providers in India. At that time, it was Airtel, Vodafone India, and Reliance. The one thing which did not work with me was when the other founders said that, we need to have a big office space, a fancy space. We need a board. We need everything with cubicles and everything. We need a company car. And here I was sitting and thinking, wait a minute, that's not my principle. You don't have one pie of income coming in. What are you talking about? No, this is not
Correct.
going to work. You can't go buy offices or anything. First, let's get the revenue. So when it comes to the question, early startups kind of generally tend to fail due to not due to lack of ambition, but due to lack of discipline. Two things, in my opinion, should be very tightly controlled. Number one goes without saying, money. Number two, decisions. For that, let's say when you have to spend, you spend on capability, not on comfort. Comfort can come later. You want a fancy office, fine. You made 25 crore rupees and you want to spend splurge around 5 crore on an office and another crore on a Mercedes, perfectly fine. But then you have zero income and you want to like buy a car on a company name, that's a red flag. Spend on things that help you learn faster, get closer to your customers, and which is something which is going to boost your company, not something that boosts your ego at that matter. Example, laptop, connectivity, access to customer, marketing folks. Yes, you need them. So you probably, that's a no-brainer there. But you don't need a big office, a fancy car, a big name kind of a thing, a big name tag outside a board saying that, hey, this is the company, this is a GST. A lot of times people think that, I start a company, money is going to kind of come pouring in. Well, reality, that doesn't happen. It takes a lot of work. I've been in corporate and I've been a little bit of a startup also. So in a corporate, processes are very cleanly set. The kind of salaries you make there, I feel the effort that you put in is a lot lesser because a lot of things are already streamlined for you. But when you become a startup, well, you are the cook, you're the bottle washer, you are everything. So which means to get to the same amount of revenue, you have to put a lot more effort. You don't have processes, you don't have people backing you at that point of time. You need to make sure that you're taking the right decisions. So a last word there, if revenue hasn't arrived, lifestyle shouldn't either. So wait for it. That's my take, sir. Back to you.
There is a prediction that we might have at least two companies, more than billion-dollar companies with just 1 to 3 employees. Can you imagine?
Well, I've heard everyone complains about time scarcity and burnouts and so on. Even leaders said that they don't have time. From a science and behavior perspective, what is actually stealing our time and focus as well? How should founders fix this?
Sure, Puriji. I think this is a real problem. It's not just about whatever you mentioned, people come and complain you. This is something I am hearing from anyone and everyone. Unfortunately, we have a lot of time, right? So everything is automated. Earlier, we used to have to go to, bank. We had to do lot of things manual. Everything got automated with just one click UPI, right? So there is no need to go and even I don't know when I even visited ATM last time to withdraw money, right? So everything in just click of our fingertips, right? But now, as I said that, there are two main reasons why we are struggling with time management. Number one is the initially you said that I'm not missing out anything. We want to attend every meeting, every event, anything, everything comes to our mind. It actually triggers, and then we want to accomplish, we want to achieve, we want to get every information of the world. But the reality is, it is okay to miss couple of things. And instead of focusing on FOMO, we should focus on JOMO. That is, I call it joy of missing out, right? It's okay. Your mental health, your focus, everything is screwed up because we are actually designed to be part of that FOMO trap. That is one. Second thing is, I want to share some science and research on that, Puriji, what's happening and why this guy, our mobile, is becoming the biggest problem for our growth, not only for individuals, for corporates as well. How much time you spend watching shorts and reels? You can use your chat window and mention, be honest, in an average, how much time you spend watching shorts and reels? I met one friend, right? I visited his house and I asked him what time you go to bed. He said, जब मेरी आंखें जलनी बंद नहीं होती तब तक I just scroll. And then I thought there is something wrong. So 10, okay, Ashok Jain ji said 10 hours. Which is reality, which is reality of the world now. Why this is happening? Right? So you will be mindful going forward. And this is something you might or might not have heard because I have spent at least 6 months to research this. So this game is actually, this happened, this was designed in 1950, the year 1950. There were two scientists, one is Jason and other one is Peter. They did some research on white rats, the guinea pigs, right? So they have installed electrode on the white rat's brain, right? And then they were trying to experiment on how white rat behaves in a different circumstances. They have taken out the white rat and they pressed their liver. When they pressed their liver, something magical was happening on their brain. Their brain was releasing a dopamine, right? If you all know what dopamine is, this is a positive
Yes.
neuron which actually releases when you accomplish something.
Correct.
So they pressed a couple of times their liver and then left those white rats back to the cage. So what they noticed was something interesting. After even 15-20 minutes, these white rats were not even worried about eating, mating, or playing. They were all pressing their own liver, okay? And they were all busy enjoying their dopamine release, what's happening in their brain. And then this study was kept from 1950 to 2000s, 2000, early 2000s, and then some avatars got into picture like Mark Zuckerberg and couple of other folks. They hired 50 scientists. They said we want to do something for humans.
Okay.
So what they realized is they have taken the same study and they have implemented it on us. What exactly happens? It is not when you watch the reel, the dopamine releases at the level. It is when you swipe. The moment you swipe, what's next? Your brain releases a neurotransmitter chemical called dopamine. And the more dopamine it releases, you are always addicted to keep scrolling without any brain. I have done experimentation to lot of people, lot of countries at airports. I just stop them when they are watching shots. I just ask them, what did you watch last two videos? They don't remember. There is something like we are all becoming white rats or guinea pigs, I would say, Puriji. And if you want to take this as one message, be mindful and believe me, you can take charge of your life. Instead of watching shorts and reels, you should read books. You should watch longer duration videos because shorts and reels are actually screwing up our lifetime everything. Thank you.
I love this. Thank you so much. Well, so I mean, like, what I take out of this is for startups, founders should focus on acquiring knowledge. Time should be invested productively, not wasted.
Of course, you just let, first of all, you realize that you know what happens, and you also need to teach people to be more creative by staying away from digital devices. Because the more you collaborate, the more you do whiteboarding and get together and humanly thing, that is going to help because this hybrid is screwing up a lot of things.
One very important question. If you had to recommend one habit founders should build today, what should that be?
Sir, that's an easy answer. You have to have a decision filter. Very simple as that. Before any major moves, have that thought in your head. Does this align with what we are building for? Or what are we explicitly saying no to? Or what if it breaks the scales? So you need to be having that decision filter when any situation comes. And founders who decide very calmly tend to outperform those who get very emotional about things. So if you have a calm persona, you think before you decide, you make a right decision. So have that decision filter. That's my answer for you.
Perfectly awesome. Very well answered. Thank you so much. Well, I would love to keep on asking so many questions, but at the time constraints, I'm so sorry we are short of time. But yes, thank you very much for all your time. I hope the viewers enjoyed. And yes, keep watching, keep gaining, keep growing. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.